Ta-da! I'm Rochelle Bradley.
I'm Cynthia Carver.
And I'm going to ask her some questions and put her on the spot.
Uh-oh.
We're out of quarantine. Ah. So I was going to ask you, what started your writing career?
My husband. He told me all the stories I had in my head I should put down on paper.
Well, it's nice that he didn't say you were crazy.
No, he just said that when I first met him. And then he started calling me spooky. He, back in the early 80s, he started sending me, what was that? Writer's Digest.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I tried writing romance, and I just couldn't.
Find the love?
We'd have sex, and then we'd move on.
Okay.
So there was no love. Love for lust. So, but now I write the stories that he was talking about, which are paranormal suspense.
Okay.
And so far it's a series. Yeah. Neighbors arrived.
They brought the party.
We just started before them. So the paranormal suspense, I have the one heroine that she stars in all of the stories.
And how many books do you have?
Okay, I have 2 out, and I have 6 I'm trying to cultivate.
All right.
Into
So
readable.
She helps solve mysteries, and she's a psychic, right?
Yes.
Okay.
She's an online psychic of 2. She's a single online psychic with 2 teenage daughters, and she does cold cases.
Oh, interesting.
And that's where we go from there.
So which character, besides the main character, is your favorite?
Probably her sidekick, Lahana.
Okay, that's her best friend?
Her best friend. She lives next door. She's a Jamaican lady that brings over loose tea so that she can do tea readings, and she's all the time equally zoning out, going, oh, like, when are you moving? You didn't tell me you were moving. And Tracy will say, I'm not moving. Stop that. Come back on target.
So she has some kind of premonition ability on her own.
On her own.
Interesting.
And then they do road trips together and looking for the bad guys.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it's nice. I mean, you just know that women need their buddy. So
they do.
It's good to have that chemistry. Yeah. So as an author, and I know you've been doing a lot of traveling, how much do you incorporate things you've seen and done into your stories? Just a little bit, or do a lot? Depends on what it is.
This past year, I will be incorporating a lot of what I've done into the stories. At one point, I was invited to go gold mining, gold prospering, and prospecting, which you can't prosper from, but man, it's a lot of work. But it was fun, and that will show up in my books.
Awesome. Yes. In the series with Okay.
Yes.
So
yeah.
When you did that, where were you?
I think I was still in northern Arizona. I could have been in southern Nevada.
Okay.
I was
right
just
on the border.
following the lead guy.
Oh, okay.
I was following the leader and didn't know where I was going.
So was there a group of you?
There was. He has a group that they do prospecting all over the West Coast.
Oh, cool.
And I was introduced to him by a really good friend. So I hear you have a new project coming up, and while this is interviewing me, I want to know about it. Ohio fiction writers.
Yes. Well, you know me as from NaNo.
Yes.
NaNoWriMo is National Novel Writing Month, and I'm a municipal liaison where it's a fancy word for volunteer, but I encourage people to get the stories out of their head. And that's International NaNoWriMo. I'm just a little Dayton, over the Dayton people. But Ohio Fiction Writers incorporates all of Ohio, and it's all genres, any age, whatever. If you write, you're in, you can be involved. And we're just now starting this. We're working on getting programs lined up, getting our little logo ready. We have a Facebook page, so if you search Ohio Fiction Writers, you'll find it. You can join if you live in Ohio, or if you're real close to the edge.
Richmond, Indiana.
Wheeling, on the other side.
Yeah.
Maybe even Covington. We're not gonna kick you out if you want to be with us cool Ohio peeps. Hey.
That's right. Not everyone can be a cool Buckeye.
That's right. And we're talking the candy.
Okay.
The Buckeye candies, because they're the best. Can't eat the nut.
No, you can't.
But we are a bunch of nuts, so, Anyway.
Fit right in there.
Yes. All genres, poetry, whatever you write. If you write something down, you're a writer. So we're trying to grow this to include everyone, and encourage everyone to get the stories or the words or whatever, the thoughts out of your head, down on paper or computer or whatever, and then give you the skills to take it to the world. Marketing, learning your word processor, just different types of craft, world building, plotting. We're setting up different people to come in and do little seminars and speak, teach you. So that's the cool thing about it. Right now, we're just in the organizing phase. You can still join the group on Facebook.
I did.
We have a group and a page, and then we also have a Twitter so far. But soon we're going to be a little bit more organized. But it's in the process. So if you're in Ohio or close to the edge, go ahead and join us. And we're just beginning. So get in at the foundation and help us build a wonderful program. Thanks for bringing that up.
Well, I'm not a romance writer, so I can't belong to the other group that is very large here in Ohio. And so when the fiction writers came up, I'm very interested in that because it is multi-genre.
Well, and a lot of other genres incorporate romance in their work. I mean, a lot of things people can relate to romance as in the far as relationships and romantic elements.
Right.
And it's always good to have that, but to just focus on it, it excludes people, and so that's why we're going everywhere.
That would be me. They excluded me.
Now you're included.
All right.
You're part of the club.
All right.
So what's next? What are you planning to publish next?
Oh, I do have a romance. I don't know how well it'll be received. I don't even know if I can get it told so that people will understand what I'm trying to tell them.
Is it a bow chicka wow wow? Or is it,
it'd be one of those.
Okay.
The heroine's, she's kind of young, and the hero is ex-military who...
Is it Alpha Dude?
Yeah. And he owns a cattle ranch that is on the very edge of BLM land. BLM, Bureau of Land Management, which is free land out west. And so that's where I say I'm bringing what I did this past year into my writing this year.
Are they allowed to do that on BLM or EML?
BLM. BLM allows, there's a lot of areas in the Southwest that allows free camping or camping for a very minimal amount per year. So the RV life, a hashtag RV life, is
hashtag roaming raven.
Yes, roaming raven RV. Me. We have a place that we can go if we don't have a home base, and for a nominal amount of money. I mean, very, very little. Maybe less than $20 a month. You have access to water and dump.
That's nice.
Yeah. So it's incorporating all that. And it's not telling you how to do it, but it gives you a flavor of what it's like to be a nomad.
Okay. The modern day gypsy.
Yes. Without the awful incantation? Ugh. The bad stuff that goes along with what you equivalent your gypsy or your traveler to do.
Oh yes, the preconceived
thievery and all that. Now there are some unsavory people. You just have to watch out for them. But overall,
well, people
the majority,
are
the majority are really good people. They may not have made the choice to be a nomad, but they're really good people.
So is that tent camping as well as RVs?
It is. I would hate to tent camp in the desert, but yes, you can.
Yeah. No showers?
No showers.
Les pew.
Shower in a box. Baby wipes.
Okay, so that's the one that's closest to coming out.
Yes.
Okay. And what's your current work in progress that you're actually writing?
That would be taking the paranormal suspense and running it backwards, and I'll be doing 5 prequels.
Oh.
The 5th prequel brings out the male alpha of the romance I was just talking about.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of all works in there
it
together.
All incorporates.
Yes.
So the prequel.
It has
the prequel. Number 1
is
her origin story, kind of.
Yeah, all 5 of them are her origin. You have her during her awakening stage, and then you have her during her apprentice or her training stage, and then you have her coming into life. What it's like to become an adult.
Yeah, finding her purpose, life.
Yeah.
Herself.
And finding out that, who she thought she was going to be with for the rest of her life doesn't work out because he can't accept who and what she is.
And what are her special talents?
She lumps them into being a psychic, but she is what the Métis call a healer.
Okay.
So she's a seer, and she can manipulate energy.
Okay.
So if she sees something getting ready to go wrong, she can do her best, maybe not always succeed, but do her best at changing the energy. And so, sometimes it goes wonky.
Oh, yeah. Well, you wouldn't have a good story without conflict.
But originally when people read the story, they thought that it was going to be a romance, and it's not. And I'm very adamant about people knowing it's not a romance. And that's even in the blurb. It is not a romance. I don't want anyone to think it's going to be a happy ever after, because there isn't ever after. It's just very intermittent.
Okay.
And
so it's not necessarily happy ever after for her, but there is some resolution with the case that she's involving.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So it's more, you would classify it as a paranormal thriller?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I don't know. Amazon just listed it as mystical realism. I didn't even know there was a genre.
Huh. Thanks, Amazon.
It wasn't a choice I picked. I put paranormal suspense, paranormal thriller, and occult, something else. And then all of a sudden I noticed that it is moving up the charts in realism.
Mystical
realism.
That's interesting.
Yep. Didn't even know there was one.
Well, I guess that makes sense. I mean, it's contemporary. That would be.
Yeah. So.
And, okay, so I know we just did the hashtag Roaming Raven RV. Can you do a brief summary? I say brief because I know you've been everywhere. Of where you've been since COVID hit.
Oh, since COVID. That's pretty.
Is it short?
It is. It is
you
short
got stuck.
I got stuck. When COVID hit, I was in California. Then I was able to migrate to Arizona. Then I got stuck.
Again?
Then I migrated to New Mexico, and they aren't having travelers get stuck. They're not even letting you off the freeway. So that was, they actually have barricades.
That's just crazy.
Oh.
I feel like the pod people.
But after I got out of New Mexico, everybody was very respectful. You know, they kept their distance. They wore masks. Some wore gloves. Some wore plastic bags.
Thongs.
Whatever it took, you know.
Your stormtrooper mask.
Yes, stormtrooper mask. Oh, and the werewolf mask. You don't want to forget the werewolf. You know, do I have a camera going on at that point in time? No. But coming back toward Ohio after you got through New Mexico, everybody became more pleasant and less radical about.
So the pod people stayed in New
Yeah,
Mexico.
they stayed in their section of the, Mama Pod. No.
Well, Devil's Tower. Wait, that was a different movie. Sorry, different sci-fi.
So yeah.
Okay, well that's good that, I mean, not good that you were stuck, but that there wasn't anything.
Yeah, when I came back here, I had scheduled to go to the doctor for yearlies and all this, and so that was all cut out. But I was basically self-quarantined before I even got here.
Well, yeah.
So
where did you go before COVID? I guess since that list is very long. Okay, states, maybe not cities.
I started in Ohio, and then I went up towards Chicago, and basically straight across through each one. And then I spent some time in Yellowstone, and up,
I love Yellowstone.
Yeah, up, and then I had to get a new transmission at that point in time.
Oh goodness.
And then I went through.
Did you see the Tetons?
Yes. It's just, I was. I broke down at the bottom of them.
Oh.
So, I got to watch them. Yes, it's such a pretty view. Then I went through Utah and then on into Oregon, which then I had to rebuild the transmission again.
Oh no, they didn't do it right?
Nope, they did not do it right. So there, I stayed a week there, not being able to see anything. And then I went up the coast into Washington and then came back down through Nevada into Arizona and California.
I guess Chaz wasn't, or Chase, whatever it's called, it wasn't a thing then.
Mm-mm.
You know what that is?
Mm-mm.
There's people that are starting their own little country within the city.
Oh, no. I didn't run into any of that.
Yeah, kick the cops out and it's free for all.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's probably not a healthy idea.
No, they're self-governing and it's, not letting anybody, they have borders and,
Ooh.
Yeah. It's a nice social experiment. Good luck.
Yeah. COVID. That was a social experience too.
Yes, that's true.
Experience, not experiment.
Well, both.
Well, it could be, yes.
I just missed, I miss hanging out with my author friends because, I mean, when you're an author, you're isolated anyway because, you know, you have to close yourself off to think properly. Well, for me, I can't write with all this, you know, noise and people talking and the TV. I need quiet or music that doesn't have lyrics or something. So it's nice just gathering with other writers to write. And that's why I like Nano so much, is that it's a community of solidarity.
It is. Where else can you gather with 75 of your closest strangers, have something in common, and get 50, you know, well, but you can get 50,000 words a month.
Right. Well, and the funny thing is you're with these people and then you take off your headphones and everybody else takes off your headphones and you're like, how do you kill somebody so that the cops don't know? And they're like, oh, how about this idea? How about this idea? And they totally get you.
And they're not running around going, check her browser.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so not last Nano, 2018, I'm sitting beside Leah Del Rey. Check her site out. And she's just typing away. And I'm worried about trying to get 200 words. And she goes, oh, I just did 2,000.
Yeah. When you're on a roll, that's how it happens.
She does. And she was able to, I don't know how many she got that night, but it was, but she was on a roll. And, you know, like I said, you're close, but everybody's got the same goal.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yay, quarantine's over. So, are you going to do Camp Nano this year?
I am going to. Are we going to have in-person meetings or
well, now that
online meetings, or
we can do both. We can
cool.
For the Dayton Nano group, I'm sure in other Nano areas, you probably will get something from your municipal liaison or post in your group. We'll probably do some, we have a Discord channel as well. People like to do write-ins there and also on the Facebook group. Okay. Before quarantine, we were meeting a couple times a week, one in the morning and then once in the evening at Panera, but I don't know how late they're open. So it just depends on, you know, people's time. If they can go, if they can come, and if they're, you know, if they're only open till 7, it's almost not worth it unless it's a Saturday or something.
Right.
But I will be.
Okay.
If anybody wants to be my buddy, my Nano name is Rochelle Bradley, no space. So you can be my friend on NaNoWriMo.org. And
Cynthia Carver.
With a, is it spelled
See?
normal?
Okay. Everything's spelled normal.
Yeah, you never know with Cindy's because, you know, they flip the Y's and the I's and, you know.
No, Cynthia's spelled traditionally.
I've seen it with an S too.
Yes, that's Spanish.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, well, my name, Rochelle, means little rock because it's French. Well, thanks for joining us, and everybody have a great day. And I guess you'll see me next time. Yeah, see this? Let's see if it. Does that pause it? I think that takes a photo. This is going in the bloopers reel. And there's the air conditioning.
Okay. How do you pause?